Welcome back. You're watching Kivumbi2017 here on KTN News. Now, apart from the much activity around the IEBC, both sides of the political divide have also been campaigning and trying to reach out to areas where they think they can amass votes that can hand them the presidency on the 17th of October 2017. Earlier today, at State House Nakuru in the county of Nakuru, President Uhuru Kenyatta and Deputy President William Ruto did meet a section of leaders from the counties of Nyamira and Kisii. Let's listen in to what was said there.
Na tumekuja hapa kwanza usalimia, ya pili kukuombea maisha mema na kufaulu hii kura ambayo utapiga mwezi ujao. Ya tatu, tumekuja hapa kukushukuru na kusema asante kwa ile kazi umefanyia wa Kisii.
Na yale atawaambia hapa tukielekea mbele, I know, being his friend and his deputy, yeye akiwa mdosi wangu, atatimiza. Na sisi tunawaambia, ile msingi tunajenga sasa ya siasa, ni msingi wa kujenga siasa ya kuunganisha Wakenya wote. Kwa muda mrefu tuliendesha siasa ya mgawanyiko na ukabila na chuki, na mnajua ilituletea hasara kubwa sana. Si mnajua jameni? Tulipata hasara, tukapoteza mali, tukapoteza maisha, ikawa fujo, na hiyo ndio siasa hatutaki tena Kenya irudi mahali pale. Na ndio ni vizuri tuweze kutembea pamoja.
Mimi yangu ni kuwaomba kwa heshima kuu. Wenzetu tumeanza safari pamoja. Wenzetu tuwatembea tukijaribu kubadilisha taifa hili letu la Kenya. Na kuanza kwa kubadilisha siasa zetu. Ziwe siasa ambazo zitakuwa za kuunganisha na za maendeleo. Jameni, wa Kenya wamechoka. Ati kila miaka mitano lazima tuwe na tension katika nchi yetu ya mvutano ya kabila hili na kabila ile. Tuanze kuangalia viongozi kama viongozi. Tuanze kuchagua viongozi kulingana na yale ambaye wamepanga kufanya. Tukirudi si ni miaka mitano, si nitaenda nyumbani. Si mimi nimesema nitaunga mkono ndugu yangu Mheshimiwa Ruto. Kwani ni Mkikuyu, lazima awe ni Mkikuyu. Si yeye atakuja na timu yake ile atakuja naye. Si mimi nitawaunga mkono. Na tuendelee namna hiyo.
So you should not impose to people. The people of Kisii are very democratic. Yeah, I'm talking about petitions. So the people of Kisii are very democratic, and even if it means that they are their petitions, let the due channel be followed. The clear channel can be followed. Hata kama ni sheria ikifuatwa pale mahakamani, ukweli utadhihirika. Uhuru atuezimu na tunajua bado tunapiga kura. Sisi tuko na watu tunapigia kura. Hao watu wamechukua Nakuru, ni watu wake amechukua kwake. Anaongea na wao fanya anataka. Lakini venye amewachukua huko, tunajua Kenya wameendea huko. Ni tumbo tu imewachukua.
Si kama wa Kisii. Mimi nimekaa nimelelewa na wazee wa mama wa Kisii wenye wako na heshima. Sisi tumelelewa na tumechua watu wakubwa tuwaheshimu. Kama Maraga tumemheshimu kama Chief Justice. Sisi tulichagua viongozi. Na tulichagua viongozi Raila Amolo Odinga. Na tumeamua mwenye tutasupport hii round ni Amolo Odinga.
Hii pesa ni yetu. Hivyo nyinyi nawaambia wazee wa Kisii, hii pesa mnaopewa itaendelea kuwepo Raila akiwa rais. Hata akwot, sijui ni akwot ama namna gani.
All right, those are views from the county of Kisii. And Dismas, you are special, you have special information or expertise on matters Kisii politics. But a lot of things here in play, but Kisii has been referred to as many things, as a NASA stronghold, as a battleground. Like Jubilee have been trying to make inroads, serious inroads there. What is happening 33 days to that repeat election?
You know, Kisii is a very liberal nation, right from independence. Kisiis do not vote in one particular direction in any election. If you come, you present a proposal, they'll give you audience. The only time they seem to vote in one direction is when one of their own sons, Simon Nyachai, was running for presidency. And then it was 4 people all the way. In fact, one of the first defectors to Kanu is a Kisii man called Dr. Protas Kebati Momanyi, who was then in DP and he defected. So the people are very liberal. But there was a mistake in my view from the presidential team at State House today in Nakuru. Because when he said that, and I hope that he's not been misquoted, but in my understanding, he said that if the petitions against Governor Ongwae and Governor Nyagarama go, then there's going to be a bit of very serious campaigns in Kisii. Now, the rule of unintended consequences applies, because if in the event that Governor Ongwae was going to be reluctant during the October campaigns, October 17th campaigns, and Governor Nyagarama, now they've got a very strong reason to be so active on the ground to ensure that Kenyatta doesn't get much votes, but Raila gets a majority of the votes. So that if the petitions go through and you've got Raila Odinga as a president, then he'll come back and assist them in their campaigns. So in my view, that's the effect of that speech.
All right.
And from those sampling of that, the voices you've done, I'm not sure that reflects the entire thinking of the Kisii community. Maybe there could be 1 or 2 more voices which would say that President Kenyatta is the person we are going to vote for. But all in all, those voices give a very strong indication that people are saying you can go to State House at Nakuru, you could be given resources, and you know that's an allegation one is unable to prove, but they have indicated that you can go and get the resources, but we are not going to change our position along Raila Odinga.
Right.
And then another issue that the president is being accused of, because I did a bit of research before coming on air, that still the attack on the judiciary and Justice Maraga, mentioning the name of Justice Maraga in that audience, in a friendly audience, in a manner that people could easily misinterpret to mean that you are actually attacking one of their own. It could be misinterpreted in an erroneous way.
We'll talk about that. Charles, do you think Jubilee have any realistic chance of getting a good chunk of the vote in Kisii?
I'll take you back to before the other election of August 8th. Because as we speak right now, we need to get the fact remains that what was challenged in court was the process and not the numbers and the outcomes. So going by the numbers that Jubilee got previously in August 8th...
Do you think we can still analyze things and go by those numbers?
What I'm trying to say is that prior to that election, there was a thinking that the Kisii region will give a strong show for NASA. But when the votes came in, it was a bit not really as expected, because the numbers went higher than even expected, even for the Jubilee presidential candidate, Uhuru Kenyatta. So what I'm saying is that without underestimating the power of 15,000 grassroots mobilizers, if today Raila Odinga calls people, I come from Baringo County, and if he calls 1,000 people from Baringo County and they go and see him, and they say we are going to campaign for Raila Odinga in Baringo, what I know is that I'll be foolish to discount and to just dismiss them as not effective. At the end of the day, these are people who are grassroots mobilizers. Even if it may not really tilt the vote in their favor in the overall, at the end of the day, it may get to 30% of votes, which is really, in my assessment, a win for them in that area.
Ben, a quick rejoinder to that. If anybody who is a president of Kenya and you invite a delegation from any part of the country, believe you me, even if they're not going to vote for you, they'll come up. Because it's the president of the Republic of Kenya inviting these people. I recall when President Moi was head of state, he didn't have much support from central Kenya. But wherever he invited people, people would go to State House in truckloads from Kiambu, from Nyeri, from Murang'a. And then when they go to State House, it's not necessarily that they're demonstrating their support. But you see, there's excitement. majority of Kenyans have never been to State House. So if you've been told there's a trip to State House, you're not going to take care of your transport, you are not going to take care of your accommodation, and you will have an audience with the head of state, you will go even if you do not like him. However, the fact that the president decided to go to Nakuru and he addressed some issues that are concerned the community. Like, for instance, the majority of the Kisii people, in fact, do not stay in Kisii. They stay across the nation. And he addressed those concerns and the investments. That one can strike a very strong emotional rapport with them. Again, it would be very naive for anybody to imagine that when we go for this election, that Raila Odinga would get 100% of the vote from Kisii. No, that's a tall order. He'll be lucky to get about 80%. Right. There's 20% for Kenyatta.
Let's take a look at how Kisii and Nyamira counties voted in the just concluded, the August 8th elections. I have decided not to touch the presidential vote, and I will focus on the other elective positions. So this is how the region voted. They'll start with the county of Kisii, and of course the governor is James Ongwae, elected on an ODM ticket. The senator, Professor Sam Ongeri, elected also on an ODM ticket. In terms of the representation in the 12th Parliament, the National Assembly, the Member of Parliament for Bonchari is John Oyoka, elected on PDP. South Mugirango MP is Sylvana Sosoro. Kenya National Congress, Bomachoge Borabu MP Zadok Ogutu is an independent member of Parliament. Bobasi MP is Innocent Obiri, PDP. Bomachoge Chache MP is Miruka Ondieki, elected on a Kenya National Congress ticket. Nyaribari Masaba, Ezekiel Ombaki is MP, NAPK, a small party. Nyaribari Chache, Richard Tongi is a member of Parliament, elected on a Jubilee Party ticket. Kitutu Chache North is Jimmy Angwenyi, also elected on a Jubilee ticket. We're still waiting for the election for Kitutu Chache South, of course. Let's take a look at the county of Nyamira now, where the governor, as we all know, was elected. John Nyagarama, elected on an ODM ticket, beating Walter Nyambati. Eric Omogeni, Kongo Omogeni, elected senator for Nyamira County, elected on an ODM ticket. And the 4 MPs in that county, Kitutu Masaba, Shadrach Mose, Jubilee Party. West Mugirango MP is Vincent Mogaka, elected on a Ford Kenya ticket. North Mugirango is Josh Nyamoko, elected on a Jubilee Party ticket. And then, of course, there is Borabu, Ben George Momanyi, elected on a Wiper Democratic Movement Kenya ticket. Mose, no ODM member of Parliament in that in Nyamira County. But those are just the numbers of how Kisii and Nyamira voted in terms of, you know, the leaders who have already taken oath of office. I didn't want to use a presidential poll, but we have seen the delegation that went to State House Nakuru today. In terms of the personalities, you cannot discount the use of personalities in Kenyan politics. We did see, I think Charles Nyachai was there. There was also Omingo Magara, and nominated senator. What's her name? Chris Obure was also there, who vied unsuccessfully for the...
And Omanga, Senator Omanga.
And Senator, Millicent Omanga. What does that delegation tell you about what sort of prospects Uhuru Kenyatta has in Kisii?
I think still based on the performance of Uhuru Kenyatta on August 8th, it was really a good performance in my assessment. And going forward, when you look at the composition of the leadership of Kisii and Nyamira counties, especially at the lower levels, apart from the county leadership, you realize that a number of even MPs who were elected here, we've just seen their names here, were in attendance.
Yeah.
Which means that this mantra, all politics is local. So as we speak here, let us always remain cognizant of the fact that the person who is able to really influence people at the lowest levels will start with the MPs. I don't know how the MCAs, the configuration of the MCAs are, but I know there could be a number of them there. So still going forward, my take is that Uhuru Kenyatta will take a beating a bit because of the issue of Maraga, but because of this strategy of reaching out to the leadership and the grassroots mobilizers and having a team that is not only led from Kisii, but you could see even a leader like Arama from Nakuru West MP. There is a strategy in how you try and bring these people. And even the importance of Nakuru and the Kisii population there, because they are really a sizable population in Nakuru. So the strategy is just to try and get the people where we are able to speak to them and bring all the leaders together, and it is going to pay dividends. I'm not going to discount it. It's going to pay dividends. The numbers will go up.
All right, the issue of Chief Justice David Maraga, it has not, it did come up today at State House Nakuru, where President Uhuru Kenyatta was saying that I don't have a problem with the Kisii people, but he said I have a problem with Maraga and how the Supreme Court handled that. And then Ruto saying we don't have a problem with Maraga. I mean, Maraga's name has been, and it has also, brought some emotion in the larger Kisii. How major a role is it going to play?
Well, before I answer that question, let me just speak a little about the number of MPs. Jubilee did very well by getting 3 MPs from the entire Kisii, which I think they did very well. And although there are a number of petitions, actually the total nation in the entire Kenya, we've got 277 petitions. A number of them are in Kisii. But as far as the parliamentary seats go, they did very well. Now, for Chief Justice Maraga, it comes and it occupies a very unique socio-economic space. Because before Justice Maraga went to court on that particular Saturday, he actually went to church. And the SDAs in Kisii and Nyamira prayed for him so that he gets a divine intervention. And after the ruling, again, he went back to church. Now, for the deep Adventists, they look at Maraga and they say Maraga was a special purpose vehicle, a special purpose vessel used by God for divine intervention. So there are a number of people who are actually claiming that when you say Maraga has done something wrong, that he's acted in error, in fact, you are blaming God for this. And ODM is doing very good propaganda on this. And for majority of the voters in Kisii, they're beginning to say, probably it's the case. Whether or not it's going to have a material effect, maybe we'll wait for the numbers. Right. But attacking the person of Justice Maraga, from even the voice sampling that you've done, there are many people who are uncomfortable with it. Right. And ODM has already taken advantage of that. They made a lot of political capital. Because you realize after the ruling, the first rally was in Nyamira and in Kisii, and understand that the turnout was very impressive.
All right. Charles, what's your take on this Maraga issue?
The Maraga issue, I think it was not very prudent for the president to come out directly to attack Maraga, and he has even apologized for that, saying, I think I was angry, I was personally hurt because of the ruling. And it has now morphed into a propaganda war. You see that NASA is taking this, that they are attacking Maraga, Kisii, therefore you need to punish them at the ballot. The Jubilee side, the first thing was to be done was the president has declared that he has said, I'm toning down on that. I was angry, I apologize. And when you listen to the Deputy President, William Ruto, who I think as the gift of gab, we have to give that to him, he said, we really don't have a problem with Maraga. Let's ask ourselves, who got us here first? Before we even say the issue of Maraga, who brought us to court for us to start now putting Maraga on
diverting the whole...
Yeah, so it is just a question of who has the more convincing narrative and to go down to the people. And for the fact that
Thank you.
The issue of the SDA, let me just talk about the SDA. I think Kenyans primarily vote based on the tribal extraction. We have really not tested the theory of voting based on religious extraction in this country. Not yet.
Fair enough. 20 seconds only.
Yeah, it would be erroneous to blame Raila Odinga for going to the Supreme Court. Because after the election, when NASA behaved in a manner suggesting that they're not going to court, that they're probably contemplating strict action, it's actually President Kenyatta and the Deputy President William Ruto who told him go to the Supreme Court.
All right, thank you.
You can't blame
we
him
have
for
to leave
following
it there, gentlemen. We have to leave it there. Interesting conversation as that battle for those battleground or so-called swing counties of votes is concerned. 33 days to the election. Thank you, political risk analyst Dismas Mokwa, political analyst Charles Kipkule. Thank you for your time tonight. So leave it on Kivumbi2017. I'm Ben Kitili. Bye for now. Stand by for the latest of what's happening around the country and around the world at the top of the hour on KTN Prime.